Alright, this is a review for the Armscor 1911 GI. So, first, a little about Armscor. Armscor is a company based in the Philippines, and they also manufacture or export for Rock Island Armory, and I'll be making references to the Rock Island Armory 1911s also, Charles Daly, and even STI. So they recently teamed up with STI to come out with a Spartan 1911. So what you get out of the box is this. So the gun and two magazines, two magazines. You can see this is still taped up. Oops. I should really throw that one away. Alright. So you get that. These are 8-rounders, and I'll explain that a little more in detail. So these ACT mags are made in Italy. I'll give you a closer look. It also says PSI USA, so I guess it's also in America, manufactured probably or distributed. Also note, for those who are not so familiar with this yet, like me, let me start. These 8-rounders protrude just a bit below the bottom of the gun. They are not flush fitting, so this plastic base pad actually just pads the very bottom, but the metal bottom part of the mag does extend below the gun. So far they work well. I'll give an update regarding how they function in the future. Alright, I will post the technical specs from the Armscor website so you could view all of them in case I miss out on any of them. But this model is the GI, so it comes with the standard GI sights. So they're low, they're not competition or Novak or target sights at all. They're the GI sights which the soldiers used back in the day. It has the GI hammer, the grip safety, which differs from the beaver tail one, which rises up. People say they have hammer bite whenever they try this kind of 1911, but I'll give it a shot and I'll tell you how it goes with my hands. So far they seem pretty good, no issues. This gun is fresh out of the box with all its grease and glory, so I gotta clean this up before firing. That's a note for any people who newly purchase a firearm. You gotta clean it and oil it up so it functions normally, because this is in the packaging grease, or which is primarily used for storage. So yeah, the GI trigger, you'll notice that it has a flat mainspring housing, which I like personally, as opposed to the arched mainspring housing of the 1911 A1 models. And the A1 also has a shorter trigger, I believe. Note the fine checkering on the slide stop. That attention to detail, I really appreciated that, because I have another 1911 which does not have this. It's just horizontal stripes or lines. Standard for safety, it is not ambidextrous. This does have a beveled magazine well, which is a good touch. Makes it easier to insert magazines, so come out nicely. standard look. Checking it. Safe. Alright. Trigger pull is, it's got some creep, or it's got some slack over there, but it is pretty light. So that's one of the great things about a 1911. So as a new gun, they advise to break it in with at least around 100 rounds or even more of FMJ, so that's full metal jacketed bullets. Why? I'll give a little short explanation. So FMJs are full metal jacketed bullets, so the heads full, that's hard jacketed metal, which is good when, for the feed ramp, kind of naturally polishes it. Another important thing is the barrel's rifling. Any imperfections in it, this will smoothen it or break it in, so you won't have problems with accuracy later on when you use softer bullets, because lead or Teflon is a softer material compared to this full metal jacketed head, so the feed ramp may not get polished, or the barrel rifling also smoothen out. And other than that, the gun also breaks in its springs, the rails, you know, the whole action of the gun gets smoothened out through operation as you fire. This gun, just a note on the value, the last gun show, this went for 14,000 pesos, so that's around $300 for a 1911. That's just an amazing value, in my opinion. So I think you should try it out yourself. This thing, there's just something about the GI model which, I don't know if you call it magical or mystic or something, but it's just, it feels very original. So these Armscor grips, they're just plastic. Amazingly though, they're thin. They feel very thin in my hand. Also, another thing which amazed me, despite its price, was for a 1911, it has an amazing fit. No rattles. So another person did a review on it. I think several other guys did it, but I'd give a shout out to Grubbernaut. I'll post a link to his review. And it is true, this 1911 does not rattle. For reference, I have another 1911. So stock. Here it is. This is the high cap model, high capacity 9mm. Here, out of the box. I don't know if you can hear that slide frame fit, but it does rattle, and it's very noticeable. It's not really too much of a negative, because 1911s, that space actually contributes to reliability of function. Anything, if it's actually too tight, it would cause jams and lockups. Now, any cons or imperfections with the gun? So, let me point out some, because, you know, I want to be balanced in this review. I don't want to be one-sided or anything. There are some imperfection or like machining marks that are visible. I'll give a close-up on them. one of them notably was this part of the slide, which seemed to not, it seemed like a gap where like the frame was seen a bit on this side. This side is fine. Now that did not worry me too much because even yesterday, very recently, I was taking a look at some 1911s and I noticed that even para-ordnance 1911s have that same imperfection or that thing which you could see. It's a very slight and minor thing, and I don't think it's a big deal because it does not have any effect on the function. And I will be testing it out, and I'll be sure to update if there are any issues with it. So, and that's about it. I guess that's it for my first impressions. So I'll update you guys later on how it goes. Feel free to comment, ask any questions, and I'll get back to you guys